you two options for solving the basic percent problem. One method uses the is of proportion method, and the other method I'm just going to call direct interpretation of the wording. The direct interpretation of the wording is what was modeled in class today. So the first, I'll go through it with what we did in class, then I'll compare that to is of, and you can choose the method that works best for you all of the time. 15% of, so 15% is 15 over 100. The word of goes along with multiplication. 15% of 75 stands for equal. What number is x? The proportion to go along with is of scenario is over of equaling your percent over 100. Percent over 100. So to take this problem presented in class and interpret it using the proportions, well, the percent piece stays the same. 15% is still 15 over 100. Of 75, the word of is associated with 75, is what number is associated with x. Solving both configurations, solving both equations should give you the same answer. X is the number 11.25. 15% of 75 is 11.25. So you can use the literal interpretation of the words as modeled in class, or you can use the cross products is of if you're comfortable with that. You just need to choose a method that works best for you. Okay, 16%, or 16 is what percent of 240? 16 is what percent of 240? So as I'm reading it, I'm writing the equation as I'm reading it. Setting this up directly into proportions looks like this. 16 is, the word is associated with 16, so 16 is the numerator. 16 is what percent of, the word of is associated with 240. The percent is what I don't know. 16 is what percent of 240. So both equations should lead you to x equaling 6 2/3%, or 6.667, meaning it's just a number repeating, 6 repeating forever and ever. So you decide. This method works, just reading the words and turning it into algebra, or using the is of proportion scenario and directly going into cross products to solve for x. $10.08 is 12% of what number? So direct interpretation, 10.08 is 12% of what number? So we can solve that for x, or we can set this up into the proportions. 10.08 associated with the word is. Of what number? That's what I don't know, so that's my variable. The percent stays the same in both equations. So you can solve either equation for x, and in this problem, x is 84. So my advice for the weekend is to just practice one method or the other. Get comfortable with one that you can always rely on, that you don't have to memorize, and that is the way you should solve your percent problems that are simple and straightforward.